I got an email last week from a wedding photographer from her private email list. She's 6 years in business, good portfolio, decent following, but she said that she's done. She's selling her gear, looking for corporate jobs. I asked her why, and she said, I loved photography when it was mine, but now it feels like a grind. I spend more time managing clients than creating. I'm tired. I told her that she might be making the right decision. Because here's what nobody talks about. Some of you watching this should actually quit. And it's not because you failed. It's not because you weren't good enough. But it's because running a photography business and loving photography are not the same thing. And if you're trying to force a creative passion into a business model that you hate, you're going to eventually burn out. And that's what I've been seeing from many photographers. The question isn't, should I quit photography? The question is, do I actually want to run a business or do I want to just take photos? And those are two completely different lives. Now, I'm Sava. I'm the head of marketing at Weblingo. We work exclusively with photographers, and I've watched this pattern play out hundreds of times. Some photographers quit and regret it. They walked away because they thought they had the problem with the photography, when the actual problem was with their systems. But some photographers quit their business and they felt relieved because they never wanted to be business owners in the first place. They just wanted to create and maybe make some money on the side. And the industry sold them this narrative that if you're good at photography, you should do it full time. But look, that's simply not true. Being great at photography doesn't mean you're supposed to build a business around it. So before you make this decision, I want you to run through a different diagnostic. Not, can I fix this? But, do I actually want to fix this? Because if the answer is no, you should quit. And you should do it without guilt. So, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, do you hate photography or do you hate running a business? And this is the most important distinction. If you dread picking up your camera, if you don't care about the images anymore, if the craft itself feels empty, you should quit. No business system is going to bring you that passion back. But if you still love shooting and you just hate the emails, the sales calls, the follow-ups, client management, the pricing negotiations, that's different. That's not a photography problem. That's a problem with your business. And let me tell you the truth, most photographers hate the business side. I mean, you probably do, right? They didn't get into this to manage spreadsheets and write contracts. You got into it to create. But full-time photography forces you to become half business operator, half creative. And if you don't like that split, keeping photography as a side thing might actually be the smarter move. Now, I know a wedding photographer who went back to a corporate job. She shoots 4 weddings a year now at $4,500 each. That's an extra $18,000 in income without any overhead or stress. She does not have to market, she doesn't have to hustle for leads, she just takes referrals. She shoots what she wants and she's happier. She realized that she loved photography, but she didn't love being a full-time photographer. And once she accepted that, the pressure simply disappeared. So, if you hate the business side, you have 2 options. The first option is to quit and keep photography as a passion project. Or you build systems that remove most of the business tasks that you hate. But you have to be completely honest about which one you actually want. The second question, are you quitting because it's not profitable or because you don't want to do what it takes to make it profitable? Now, notice how there's a difference. Some photographers aren't making enough money simply because their systems are broken. They're undercharging. They're not following up. They're invisible on Google My Business, SEO. If they fixed those things, they would be profitable. But some photographers are not making enough money because they simply refuse to do the things that would make them profitable. Those photographers don't want to optimize for SEO because it feels too corporate. They don't want to follow up with the leads because it feels pushy. They don't want to raise their prices because they're afraid of losing clients. And that's completely fine. But you can't complain about being broke if you're unwilling to do the things that generate revenue. One of the photographers that we worked with told me he couldn't make enough money. I simply took a look at his process in our free audit. He wasn't following up with inquiries. He said it felt desperate. He wasn't visible on Google. He said SEO felt inauthentic. He wasn't networking with vendors. He said it felt salesy. And I told him, you do not have a money problem. You simply have a philosophy problem, a mindset problem. He wanted the income of a business owner without doing the work of a business owner. And that doesn't exist. So if you're quitting because you're not profitable, you must simply just ask yourself, is it because the systems don't work? Or is it because you're unwilling to implement the systems that do work? Now, if it's the second one, you should quit. Because if you're not willing to put in the work, you may as well just quit. Because no amount of strategy is going to fix a mindset block. Now, the third question, are you quitting because you're burnt out? Or because you built a business model that requires burnout? Now, this one is huge. A lot of photographers are exhausted because they're doing high volume, low profit margin work. Shooting 30 weddings a year at $2,000 each, delivering 800 photos per wedding because they think it shows value. Editing until 2 a.m. in the morning because they promised a 2-week turnaround. That's not a sustainable business model. That's simply a burnout factory. And if that's your model, you have two choices. First choice is to quit, or you change the model. Shoot 15 weddings at $4,500 each. You have the same revenue, but half the work. Cap deliverables at 400 photos. Raise your price by $500 to compensate. Extend your turnaround to 4 weeks and stop working nights. But here's the part most photographers do not want to hear. Changing the model requires saying no. No to the clients who want more for less. No to the people who don't respect your boundaries. No to opportunities that do not align with your capacity. And if you're not willing to say no, you're going to burn out. That's a simple solution. Every single time. One of our clients was shooting 40 family sessions a year at $600. She was exhausted. She wanted to quit. I told her to cut her client load in half and double her price. She said, I'll lose everyone. But she didn't. She lost the clients who were draining her, and she kept the ones who actually valued her. Now she's doing 20 sessions at $1,400 each. Same revenue, half the burnout, different positioning. But she had to be willing to lose clients to make that work. If you're not willing to lose clients, you're not ready to scale. You're simply ready to quit. Now, the fourth question, are you quitting because clients are the problem? Or is it because you're attracting the wrong clients? Now, most photographers that we speak to, they blame their clients. They haggle. They ghost me. They don't respect my time. But here's your reality. Your clients are a reflection of your positioning. If you're attracting price shoppers, it's because your marketing is built around price. If you're attracting people who ghost, it's because you're not qualifying leads. And if you're attracting clients who do not respect boundaries, it's simply because you're not setting boundaries. Your client problems are marketing problems. One of the photographers we worked with kept getting clients who wanted unlimited revisions. She would say yes every time because she was afraid of losing the booking. Then she would resent them for asking. I told her that they're not the problem. You are. You trained them to expect unlimited revisions by saying yes the first time. She added a revision clause to her contract. One round of revisions is included, and additional rounds are billed at $150 an hour. Guess what happened? Clients stopped asking for unlimited revisions. And it's not because they were different clients. It's because the expectations were clear. If your clients are exhausting you, look at how you're attracting them and what you're agreeing to. If you're not willing to change that, simply quit, because the clients are not going to change. Now, fifth question. Are you quitting because it's not working? Or are you quitting because you expected it to work faster? Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most businesses take 3 to 5 years to become profitable. Photography is no different. But most photographers expect to be fully booked in year 1. And when that does not happen, They assume it's never going to happen. So, as a result, they quit right before momentum would have kicked in. I know a photographer who almost quit after 18 months. She was booking 4 sessions a month at $700 each. It's definitely not enough to live on, not enough to justify the effort. She thought this is not going to work, but she stayed consistent. By month 24, something shifted. Past clients started referring her. Her Google ranking improved. Vendors started recommending her. Now she's at 12 sessions a month at $1,200 each. She just didn't quit when it was hard. But here's the key. She was willing to stay consistent for 2 years. If you're not willing to do that, quit now. Because year 1 and year 2 are going to be slow. Now, the 6th question. Do you actually want to run a business, or do you want creative freedom? That is the question you're likely avoiding, because the answer reveals that photographers, some of them, never wanted to be entrepreneurs. They wanted to be artists with a steady income. And that's not how businesses work. If you want creative freedom without business responsibility, get a job that pays well and shoot on the side. You get financial security, benefits, and predictable income. And you get to shoot whatever you want without the pressure of needing to pay your bills, your mortgage, taxes. Some of the happiest photographers I know have full-time jobs. They shoot 5 to 10 passion projects a year. They're not stressed out about getting clients. They're not hustling. They're creating on their terms. And this might be the right move for you. And if it is, you should do it without guilt. So here's my challenge to you. Before you make this decision, get really honest about what you truly want. Do you want to build a business, or do you want to take photos? Because those are 2 completely different lives. If you want to build a business, you need 4 things working. First one is traffic. You need to be visible where buyers are looking. Second thing is conversion. You need to turn inquiries into bookings at 50% or higher rates. Then you need delivery. You need workflows that don't require 60-hour work weeks. You need retention. Past clients sending you referrals so that you're not starting from zero every month. Those 4 pillars, traffic, conversion, delivery, retention, those are the S2C system. It stands for stranger to client. If those 4 things are broken, your business will always feel like a grind. But if you fix them, photography truly becomes profitable without the burnout. We built a free roadmap that breaks down how to implement these 4 pillars. It's for photographers who know they want to build a business but don't know why it's not working yet. It's the first link in the description. But if you watch this and you realize you don't want to actually build a business, that's okay too. Just quit. Keep photography as a side thing. Shoot what actually makes you happy. There's no wrong answer. It's your life. There's only the wrong reason for staying. All right, that's it for me today. I'll see you in the next one.